Welcome to my channel. This is the cover call guy, and today this video is gonna be a little off topic. However, I want to talk about it because I own BTCI and Bitcoin myself. But before we get started, legal disclaimer before we start. This content is for information and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, or tax advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor, investment professional, or tax expert. All opinions expressed are my own and may be inaccurate or incomplete. Investing and trading involves significant risks, including the possible loss of principal. Please always conduct your own due diligence and consult a qualified licensed professional before making any financial or investment decisions. Remember, I'm just some random idiot you found on YouTube, and I could be completely wrong. So with that out the way, yes, I want to talk about what this man is doing right now. Mr. Michael Saylor. He's forming a 1.44 billion USD reserve, and that has really split like the community apart, right? Especially the MSTR community. Some are saying good, some are saying bad, some are just not completely confused, right? The reserve will be used to support dividend payments on preferred stocks and meet interest obligations, providing enhanced liquidity cushions and volatile digital asset markets. That's just a little bit of summary here. But I'm gonna go through it. I've just kind of did my little research, and I've kind of compiled a biased and unbiased report from both sides. Cause even though I've never thought about owning MSTR, never owned it, never thought about owning it. He affects, this man over here does affect the, Bitcoin, right? He's a big well in the game, and what he's doing, especially for those who own it. If any subscribers here that own it, any people that are watching this video, if you own it, let me know what's happening. Let me know your thoughts because I'm very interested. In terms of this field and this area, I would say I'm pretty uneducated, especially what this man is planning or thinking. I don't really like follow up on what he's doing all the time. I try to because he is a big influence on the crypto world, so especially Bitcoin. And I own Bitcoin myself, and I also own the Bitcoin Income BTCI. So, it affects me. But I want to talk about MSTR's digital credit pivot. What is this guy really doing, right? So this is kind of my deep dive, how I understand it, how I see it. For those who own MSTR, I'm very interested to see your point of view. So please leave a comment and tell me, what you think is happening, right? What your judgment is, right? So I think the game has changed for about 5 years. It was about accumulating Bitcoin, not anymore. The December 1st announcement of the 144 billion USD reserve changes everything. MSTR is no longer just a Bitcoin proxy. I don't think MSTR is trying to play that side of the game anymore. Something's going on. It's just very, I don't know. It just feels very off when someone like him talks about how the dollar is trash, right? Cash is trash, and then he has a almost $2 billion USD reserve. It just feels off for me. I don't know, right? So circular financing explained. This is how I think they operate, right? So step 1, MSTR sells 8.2 million shares of common stock to you, the investor, shareholder, the public investor. Step 2, they take that cash, 1.44 billion, and put it into a USD reserve, not Bitcoin, cash. Step 3, that cash is used to pay dividends to preferred shareholders. And the reality is that new investors are essentially paying the old investors. Is a closed loop. So that kind of, that word Ponzi, that again, I'm not trashing it, especially for those who own MSTR. Let me know what you think is happening. I just think it just feels off to me. I don't know. It's kind of, it doesn't feel right, especially the way I see it, right? It's just kind of like you need new cash coming in to pay out the old guy. Right, the bias bull case. This is if I were to view it from a bias point of view of the volatility dampener, right? Management argues that this is a defensive moat. By raising cash now, they secure 21 months of dividends runway. They won't be forced to sell Bitcoin even if crypto winter hits hard. The Bitcoin Bank. Mr. Saylor is positioning MSTR as a merchant bank by holding both a volatile asset, Bitcoin, BTC, and a stable reserve, USD, the dollar, right? They get a credit rating boost from S&P B minus and stabilize the ship. So this is the biased bull case for those that for that I'm reading online and what I'm putting together. I think this is, it's not bad. All right, I can understand that. All right, this is what they're doing. They're not exactly saying, "Hey, we're running out of money." All right, this is the biased bull case is what the supporters think. All right, the unbiased bear reality, right? The negative carry, Bitcoin yields 0%, right? Preferred stock costs around 10%. You are bleeding value every single day unless MSTR stock keeps going up. The reflexity loop, the model only works if the stock trades at a premium. If the stock falls, the infinite money glitch breaks, right? I always see that when I'm doing my due diligence. I see that always that, oh, it's an infinite money glitch. Now it doesn't seem so much, right? So, operating shortfall. The software business makes peanuts. The only way to pay the bills is to keep selling stock to you. So, this is the bear case, and this is what's being talked about in the community. So I'm putting a lot of things together. I'm researching it. I'm trying to find the facts, and it's quite hard, especially for those like myself that aren't a MSTR holder that really follow the news from the stock and from the community 24/7. But this has caught my attention because I've been trying to make a video for this for the past few days since the article came out, because it has really piqued my interest in what's going to happen to Bitcoin when this holding, if MSTR collapses, right? It would be almost a game over in a sense of way, right? It would take a lot more confidence to really pick up the pieces if Michael fails or MicroStrategy fails. So I mean, I am worried because I am I guess a shareholder in Bitcoin itself, right? So for those who are also, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think something's happening behind the scenes and we don't really know about it? All right, so I just nicknamed this the alphabet soup liabilities, right? So the ticker STRK, STRC, STRF, and then debt, right? So basically, these are just the names of it and how they perform, the dividends, the annual costs, just for comparisons and the liabilities that comes with the micro strategies. So as you can see, these are the payouts, right? These are the preferred stocks, and annual cost is almost 700 billion. They have 1.44, so about what give or take, like I said before, about 21 months before the whole thing disappears. So I think that's what's making the shareholders of MSTR very, very worried. And if things don't look up right for the bull market for them and the stocks don't go back up, then it's a really bad case. All right, the stretch trap, right? The stabilizer mechanism. The STRC preferred stock has a variable rate. If the stock trades below $95, the dividend rate actually increases to attract buyers. It's designed to protect the investor's principal. The death spiral, however, this creates a negative convexity for you in a downturn. When MSTR can least afford it, the cost of capital spirals up. The dividend recently hiked to 10.75% for this exact reason. So we're kind of starting to see that. The death spiral. All right, so I think the current stock is like $98, and it was just been jumping up, jumping down. So the trap is kind of there, right? We need that micro strategy confidence back. Dilution fatigue. 10 billion shares authorized, right? So proposal 1 increases authorized Class A stock from 330 million to 10.33 billion. That is a massive wall of potential supply hanging over your head. MSTR shareholders, how do you guys feel about this? Because I don't know if this is a good thing. I don't know. it's 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 definitely gonna hurt. You're going to see um your share value pretty much go down. At least I think it will. I mean, if you have a counterpoint to it, I'm very interested. So I just don't know how this is gonna play out. And then there were talks of the $2 stock, right? Is $2 real? Right. So in a bull case, $275. Bitcoin at $150 goes up to 150,000. The base case $155. Bitcoin at $95. Bitcoin at $95,000. The bear case, the stock drops to $58. Bitcoin is at $50,000. And liquidation, basically, the MSTR drops to $2, but Bitcoin has to drop to $23,000, right? $2 the $2 isn't a price target, it's an insolvency floor. It happens only if Bitcoin crashes to $23,000. But $58, I say that's a real possibility. In a really, really bad crypto winter, I mean, it's possible. I think it's possible. I'm not sure if you guys don't think it's possible, but I'm praying it doesn't, because if MicroStrategy collapses, then I don't even know what's going to happen to Bitcoin and all of the Bitcoin related cover call ETFs. That would be catastrophic. I don't know. That makes me worried, right? Because as I'm reading and I'm going through the communities and the MSTR communities, I'm reading the posts. I'm trying to study up from people much smarter than I am, right? So, as I do my own due diligence, I kind of compare the notes, the facts, people's comment, and try to fact check it. And the $2 stock thing is a real talk within the community. So, oof, that's I don't think it's gonna go down, but they say it can because of the tech bubble of 2021, not 21, 2001, of what happened to MicroStrategy. So I don't know. That would be worst case scenario, I guess. I guess the crypto winter would be that bad. All right, the Japan risk. Of course, this was another mention, right? The yen carry, liquidity sponge. MSTR acts as a high beta liquidity sponge. It thrives on cheap money. And so far, we are getting towards cheap money. The Fed this month in December will have another meeting to decide what to do with the rates. And then the carry trade, if the Bank of Japan raises rate, the yen carry trade unwinds, global liquidity dries up, and a speculative bid for MSTR vanish instantly. So the Japan trade is mentioned because it doesn't just affect MSTR. It affects the global economy and it affects the US economy. That just means everything in the US will get inflated. And not inflated as in assets might go up. Assets actually might crash. What gets inflated is everything else getting more expensive without the assets actually going up. So the Japan risk is real. All right, MSTR versus the field, right? MSTR versus the ETFs. Spot ETFs charge 0.20%. MSTR charges you 10% in negative carry plus dilution. Unless we are in a raging bull market where the premium expands, the ETF is mathematically superior. So again, for those who own MSTR, why are you paying such a high price? Is it because you're waiting for a bull market? So I'm very curious for that. I just want to know your thesis behind MSTR. MSTR versus Bitmine. Competitors like Bitmine, BMNR holds ETH, which yields about 4% via staking. They have income. MSTR holds Bitcoin, which yields 0%. MSTR is structurally more fragile. So again, MSTR holders, MSTR shareholders, if I have any viewers or subscribers, let me know. Please comment. I'd love to know. All right, my final verdict for this, I don't think it's a Ponzi scheme like everybody's mentioning in the MSTR community. One, because there is no fraud, right? It's fully disclosed, so you can't call something a Ponzi scheme without actual proof. People just like to pass it off as one. However, it is a Ponzi scheme in the way that it relies on new capital to pay old liabilities. So we do have to look out for that, because the whole reason I wanted to make this article was because it's the way it presented itself. Um, it just kind of starts to scratch the edges of, and I don't mean Ponzi scheme, Ponzi Finance, right? Not a Ponzi scheme, Ponzi Finance. It just doesn't, it it rubs me the wrong way. That the article, it just came out like MSTR was about to collapse because they couldn't find new investors. So not a good thing. I hope they have a plan. All right, you are betting that Saylor can outrun his cost of capital if the premium collapses. It's a long downhill journey. My rating, I'd say, is neutral / structural risk. So MSTR shareholders, if there's any, please respond to this video. Educate me, because I'm just very curious on what the thesis is to MSTR. Like, why do you own it? What's the reasoning behind this? Is it just to help Michael Saylor like buy more Bitcoin? What is the thought process here? I'm interested. I don't know. Maybe is it the dividends that's being paid out to you? I don't know. But when I read that article, I was like, I have to make a video on this, because I just feel like I have to ask the MSTR community what's going on. Is he a genius, or I'm just not getting it? Maybe I'm just an idiot. I can admit that. Ponzi or genius? I don't know. You let me know your thoughts in the comments below, please. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll be looking forward to any comments or anybody that owns MSTR, because this is what I came up with when I was doing my research, and possibly entirely wrong. I might have to delete this video because it was too much misinformation. I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next.